Hey, Cosmic Witches, and welcome back to the Divine Gossip Girls podcast. I'm so excited. We're so excited to have you guys here tuning in to this beautiful episode, another beautiful conversation. And this one's going to be all around healing in the presence of others and the power of co-regulating, which is something that I recently have learned in getting in a new relationship and also moving through a really tough time where I realized that I just need someone to be there to hold space for me, to help me feel safe enough to let down my guard and really just heal on a deeper level, release what I am ready to release without the fear of, my own blocks getting in the way. So I'm really excited to tap into all of that today with these two ladies and have this beautiful conversation. But before we dive into this episode, I wanted to shout out our fourth round of our 21-day ritual challenge called Aura Elevation. Now, this is the fourth round. It has gotten a lot of incredible feedback and traction over the years, and we're nearing the end of year 2 of running this beautiful challenge. So if you guys are interested in 21 days of beautiful rituals to help you reset and re-energize your chakra system, your energy system, and really elevate your aura and your vibration to put you in alignment with some of those high vibrational manifestations that your soul, that your heart craves, then this challenge is for you. We keep it at $49 so that it can be accessible to everyone. We believe that spiritual healing and the support of others should be, available to everyone. So if this episode kind of sparks some attention that, man, maybe I do need some community in my life to support me in my healing, or I just need some practitioner to hold space for me so that I can heal and up level, then this challenge is for you. And it's beautiful because we're going to be, diving more into the energy of summer and bringing that energy alive within us. And you can go ahead and join through the link below. The doors are now opened, but we are going to be limiting spots. So make sure that you go ahead and grab your spot now so that you can join us in this fourth round that is going to be fucking incredible. It includes so many goodies, meditations, tappings, live workshops, a beautiful community group chat where we're supporting and encouraging one another. And the vibes of it are just insane. Everyone in it is so supportive, so encouraging, and it truly just lights up this fire within all of us as practitioners and the whole community. And we've seen just such incredible, beautiful results from the beautiful people that have joined us inside. So we would love to have you in this fourth round. Reminder that the link is below to now join us, and the doors will be closing on August 5th. So get in there now, and we cannot wait to have you inside. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on into this episode.
Hey Cosmic Witches! Divine Gossip Girls here, your one and only source into the spiritual happenings of the cosmos.
Ever wonder what this month's energy will have in store for you? What the planets and stars are even up to? Or if the universe can just help you catch a break already?
Well, lucky you, because we have all the spiritual secrets to tell. Get ready to sip on your weekly dose of divine tea. All right, love. So I wanted to start this conversation by sharing a little bit about my journey in understanding that there is so much power in healing in the presence of others and the power of co-regulation. So I recently have been moving through a bit of like a shadow season, a season where a lot of my shadows have been emerging. And I've honestly just been moving through a bit of health issues. My mental health has been a little bit lower, and I recently was diagnosed with PCOS. Just a lot of things are kind of out of whack. And I've honestly really been struggling. And in the past, I've worked pretty closely like with a therapist. I've always kind of had one. But over the past year of traveling and my life changing, I just kind of allowed that to fall away. And I really felt pressure over the course of winter. And honestly, after my travels in India, I was like, okay, I have taken in a lot of information. It's not time for me to learn anymore and take any more things in. And I remember having a conversation with someone, and I was kind of mentioning to them of like, oh, like I kind of feel like I need to work with a mentor. And this person was like, no, like you already have all the power within yourself. You don't need to like outsource to anyone else. And that just like didn't sit right with me because I was like, it's not that I'm looking for the answers in someone else. It's not that I'm trying to give my power away to someone. It's just that I simply need someone to hold space for me, to encourage me and support me so that I can feel safe enough to release the things that I know my body and my energy is asking me to release. But, when I'm on my own, just sitting in my room doing tappings or doing meditations, I can only get so deep because there is this fear of, what if I'm not safe enough to do it? Or what if something happens? Or my ego kind of gets in the way. And last week, I ended up doing a breathwork session with my friend. And I just, in the presence of her, I ended up releasing a lot of the anger and the frustration that I had been holding on to that's built up over the season of becoming aware of these shadows. And I just realized the power of co-regulating, the power of being in the presence of others, and how that really helps you to heal on a deeper level, not because you're outsourcing and forcing yourself to gain guidance from anyone else, but just from the power of being held by someone. I think that is truly magical. So I'd love to hear your guys' take and experience on this.
Well, even I just wanted to shout in there that even this is something that I think everyone is stepping into and learning right now on a collective basis because we have Pluto, which is our planet of like transformation. It's the planet that we actively transform and change through. And we have these big awakenings and we have these big transformations. And this year is kind of having this in the last year. It's been bouncing from Capricorn to Aquarius, and it's been in Capricorn for a very long time, like a big chunk of our lives. And Capricorn is that independent sign. It's very independent. It goes out on its own. It's that hyper independence. It's working. It's putting your nose to the grindstone. And then Aquarius is like, they're deep thinkers. And Aquarius is community and rooting for the underdog and lifting each other up as a collective. So as Pluto moves into Aquarius and settles there by the end of this year for the next 12 to 14 years, we are actively stepping into this era as a society, as a collective of healing through the presence of others, healing through lifting each other up, and healing as a collective rather than this hyper independent transformation that we've been doing before. And now we're transforming as a group. And so doing things as a collective, having a community that supports you and having people who lift you up rather than just doing it all alone is going to be extra potent, if that makes sense. Like it's going to help you even more because you're aligning with the energy of transformation within and outside of yourself, right? The energy in the air is really supporting, the energy in the cosmos is supporting this idea of collective healing. And so if you can align yourself with that, it's like, okay, I'm healing inwardly and also all my external energies are just flowing together.
I'm so glad we're talking about this because I think there's obviously people who tend to get that support and they're giving their power away to others and looking outside of themselves. But I think it's like what we are trying to get at here and help people see and change that narrative of it's okay to have the support of others. Actually, the support of others in a healthy way is exactly what we all need to lift us up, to mirror back what is within us. It's not that you want a mentor, a coach, a therapist to give you all the answers and to like hold you while you move through your life. It's like, okay, like how can this person be a mirror for me to unlock what's within me, heal what wants to be like healed, to have that support system? Because I know I personally wouldn't be where I am within myself without Karlie and Maggie being those mirrors for me. I wouldn't be where I am without my very first mentors and coaches. And it's not that I gave my power to them, it's that they helped me unlock what was already within me. And I think being able to open yourself up to the support of community, the support of practitioners and mentors in that type of way can be so, so powerful, because a lot of the work that we all do is like creating these spaces for people to come into themselves and not come look out of themselves, but come deeper into themselves in this safe space with this like professional, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's not that you can't do it on your own, it's that you don't have
Won't.
to.
You don't have to, and
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's like, especially like for us, like especially like on a practitioner level, like you're holding other people, and sometimes you just want to be held too. You want somebody to mirror things back to you as well. You want someone just to call you out as well, so that you can like shift on that deeper level too. Because sometimes you can't see things because you just can't see things on your own, and sometimes it's okay to have that other person there, because that's where that potency also lives too. Like, think how many times, like, even if you've been in aura elevation, like, if you're someone who's already been in aura elevation, the energy in that to support you and uplift you and expand you to actually go deeper into yourself, express yourself in a deeper way because of that collective energy. And I think it's really important to talk on also like the power of environment, the power of like who you actually spend your time with. Like, because my life really started to really transform when I started to immerse myself into people like Maggie, people like Karlie, those kind of energies, those kind of environments, those kind of communities that start to allow you to come deeper into yourself, step more into yourself, like express what is coming up, your fears, your worries, your struggles, but also your deepest desires as well, and your deepest passions and your deepest visions too, and like being held in these spaces for you to actually unlock what is within, the power that's within.
And just make it easier to do like anything. Like it's just something about community that makes like things that you want to do and put your mind to and ways you want to heal or goals that you have just seem so much more attainable, and it keeps you accountable. Like my partner Joel has been, he's not spiritual, he's not, into any of this stuff, but he's been saying that he wants to get into running. And I was kind of teasing him the other day because we were talking to some of our mutual friends, and he's like, yeah, I've been getting into running. And I said, and by that I mean he hasn't gone on a single run. But he was like, no, I'm talking to people because I'm trying to keep myself accountable, because then those people will follow up and say, hey, how's it going? And he's like, and that just adds like, not necessarily, doesn't have to add that pressure. I mean, sometimes a little pressure is good, but it also is like, okay, there's people who are supporting me doing this. There's people who are looking at me to do this, so I better do it.
Yeah, 100%. I think like having people in your corner that kind of know and understand the path that you are on holds you accountable to your healing and to becoming the version of yourself that you know deep down within you want, versus surrounding yourself with people that actually hold you to the identity of someone that you no longer are meant to be. It's like they're rooting for your highest self. They're rooting for the person you're becoming. And I think that is really special. And I think in general, just the whole idea of co-regulating and shifting out of hyper independence, I think is really powerful, because so many of us are actually keeping ourselves small by doing everything on our own. There is a really big wound around control that comes up, and that's what keeps us in the state of hyper independence, that we need to be in control. It's not safe for us to open up. But the second that you sometimes, that fear comes up, but the second you take that leap to actually, try out healing in the presence of others and being in community, there is such an incredible quantum leap that you take, not only because you are healing those, needs to control, but you're also really leaning into your divine feminine and masculine energy to work in unity with others, to allow someone else to hold that space for you so that you can rise up. I see community as like, it's kind of like that divine masculine of like holding you, and then it allows you to be that playful feminine that a lot of us have within us that we're so scared to lean into, but that really allows us to nurture and experience that deep fluid healing that where we're in flow with our emotions and everything. So I think that in itself is really powerful, shifting just from the perspective of I need to do everything on my own to working with the fear to like reach out and join a community, work with a mentor, work with a group of people.
And I think for a lot of us, you like really hit it on the nail on the head there, Carly. Like a lot of us, we can be more feminine led. At least like I am, and I know that there's a lot of people in my life who are, and I think a lot of people in our communities are a bit more feminine led. You're not quite as maybe as confrontational or abrasive, or like you're like, you need that time in your feminine, you need that time in your water. And I think that it's important to have community for exactly that. Like that's what I use community for. I'm like, okay, I need to be held accountable. I need structure. I need people to co-work with. That's some like a big thing for my business. I'm like, I am co-working with people any way I can, whether that's actually collaborating together or just sitting and mirroring each other as we work in silence. It's like I need the community to push me. And I also find that my masculine energy and traits come out when I am kind of in service of my community and in service of others. Like my organization comes out when I'm like really in business mode. And that's when I'm like, okay, I need to do this for my community. I need to do like whatever it is. I like create things and I work very hard and I'm like, bam, 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 bam. And then also when, someone that this is a totally different thing, but when someone I love is being hurt by someone else, like I have that more abrasiveness and confrontation. Like I'm so much more likely to confront someone when they're attacking someone else than when they're attacking me. You know what I mean? And that's because like I'm showing up for my community. And so it's like if you find it hard to show up for yourself the same way that you show up for community, then maybe you need community to show up for you and to give you that energy in that way.
Well, and that's really the truth of it is like we actually, most of our day is spent in our masculine. I feel like a lot of times when we're, at work in a 9 to 5 or just like in, running a business or being a mom, like, yes, you hold that nurturing energy deep down, but a lot of the action that you're taking is in the masculine. So the act of like seeking out a community or working with a mentor, it allows you to just completely like surrender the, having to create the space, the take the action. It's like you just get to surrender and allow your intuition to step forward and your emotional energy to step forward. And that's kind of what gets to be in the space. And I think this is something that I really had to heal when I recently got into a new relationship and I noticed how crazy my hyper independence was because even like in the presence of someone that I dearly loved, I was trying to like hold it together or I felt safe, I felt scared to let my guard down. But the second that I did it, I realized, holy shit, it feels so nice to have someone hold you and for you to just release your emotions to. And I think through that, I also realized, oh shit, I've been doing that as well in terms of my own healing. I've been putting all the weight on my shoulders to be everything. And maybe I just need someone to be there to hold me so that I can like release. Think about like growing up. You needed a parent, you needed some sort of caretaker to hold you so that you could grow. It's the same exact thing as we're adults here, moving into this age of Aquarius. We need communities to hold us so that we can truly thrive into our full potential.
And I think we're all realizing like that more than ever. We're also realizing how much we have been trying to put it all on ourselves or hold that control or give our power away. Like we're all starting to realize how much we've been doing it in so many different ways within different relationships, within our career, within our business, whatever it may be, and how those patterns have been playing out and how they continue to play out in different ways. And being able to like, again, shift that narrative and that relationship with how we allow other people to support us, whether that be in a relationship, whether it be co-working in business. I know that like again, I wouldn't be where I am without the girls, like being able to, like in your masculine energy, keep you accountable to actually show up and do the work and show up for your business and show up for the actions that you need to take, but also for that kind of more feminine side of things as well, of like healing and mirroring back what you want to shift, or leaning back and allowing others to be there for you and to support you, and know that you've got that collective support around you for both the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And it's being able to like shift that narrative of being like, okay, I know I hold the power, but it's okay to rise together. It's okay to expand together, because that is where that collective power lives.
And it's why I've always loved being part of like group
Yeah.
communities, whether that's like a free sort of space where people are just like vibing together, or whether that's something like a challenge or a program that I've paid into. I always find I have my biggest breakthroughs. I have my best, even just like my best profit months in my business when I'm part of a group, whether I'm leading that group
Actually, me
or,
too. I feel like that's
yeah.
when my fire, like when my fire comes most alive. Because like people will probably know, like I collaborate a lot with loads of different people, like with the girls, but I also have loads of other collaborations and loads of friends in the space. And it's because that is where like when my fire comes alive, and like what Maggie said as well, like that's when things really shift in business too, and things like really expand when you're immersed into that energy.
And I think it's because these practitioners have that authority. They've been there. They know what they're doing to create a structure. And they're creating that, like we were saying with the masculine and feminine, the water and fire, they're creating that structure for you to then be able to just flow through. Like you're not thinking, oh, I have to wake up and I have to pick a meditation and then I have to do this journaling and I have to do this so that I can heal. It's they're kind of like, let me tell you what to try and what to do, and you just get to flow through it. You just get to experience it and be with it and create with it, rather than trying to create this structure for yourself for healing. You're like, I don't have to structure my healing. I just get to heal. And that's why, like we were saying with this podcast, healing in the presence of others, I get to heal in the presence of others and they get to hold space for me. They also get to just create that space for me. And all I have to do is just show up and be there.
Yeah, and like just to recognize that is not you giving your power away at any ounce, because by you completing this meditation, by you completing the breath work, like that is all you. That is you. That is not, someone else doing the work for you. That is you simply allowing the meditation to be that beautiful, like divine masculine. And now you can just flow and heal and do the shit that like is really what you're here to do. Like it's the thing that your soul is craving when you go into these spaces. You just want to be held. You want to be able to be in flow. But what prevents us from being in flow so often is the thinking about, oh my God, wait, should I do that? Should I do that? All the choices, all the decision making. That can feel really freaking overwhelming. And especially like walking a spiritual path, that's honestly what feels really overwhelming half the time, is because you're like, okay, what should I really be doing right now? What is my energy trying to tell me to do? When you're in community, when you're in spaces working with a mentor, practitioner, or even like a loved one or a friend, they're creating the container for you to just express yourself and release and cleanse and be in whatever way you need to be. And that in itself is what helps you to grow and heal and rise.
I think especially because of this like age of Capricorn that we've been in, it's been the idea that like control equals power. And I think that's why when you step into these spaces, or when you're vulnerable with someone, or when you are healing in front of someone, you feel like you're giving away your power, because you feel like you're giving away that control, because you have no control over how they may react to like your healing, or how they may react to certain things that you say or feel or do. But you're in a safe environment. Like that's why you put yourself into communities you feel safe, so you can be fully held, because by kind of releasing the control and healing in that way, you're not giving away your power, you're finding new power in a new way. Like your power with control. You don't necessarily have to create more power around control. Like I think everybody understands the power that control holds, which is why sometimes we cling onto it so hard because it's the only power that you feel. But by releasing that control and being able to heal by finding power in other spaces, power in flow, power in vulnerability, power in working with your energy, what it does is it just shows you how much more powerful you actually are and that you have so many more different outlets for your personal power and so many more sources for it.
I love that so much. I feel like that's like an episode in itself. Like that hit me, like finding power in other places.
I feel like
Like
that's
find
like surrender. That's like the element of surrender. Like when you're in control, it's only you. Like, but then when you surrender, you become the power of the universe. Like that is the whole thing. Like it's not just you alone. It's
and it's
you
also
as
like
everything.
everybody will have their own kind of relationship with power as well, because maybe this concept of power is actually like an unhealthy concept that you hold. So it's like looking at that side of the coin as well, and how you can again shift the narrative around what power means to you and how you can find this power in yourself, power in the flow, power in community, so that it can actually serve you and expand you and heal you and support you in ways that's going to allow you to be happier and be more fulfilled in who you are, be more abundant in the life that you live, and be more aligned in the work that you do and the people that you surround yourself with.
And if you're relating to this a lot, I want you to go buy some honey calcite. Because honey calcite is the crystal that helps rebalance your energy around power, your idea of power, and it helps you heal around the concept of power. Yeah, Sophie has it. It is one of
I
the
was like,
most like,
this is the
yeah,
key.
that's it. The most cathartic stones, and it helps you just really like balance that out so then you can kind of grow your own sense of personal power in these other places, because sometimes there's big wounds there and it does make it hard to step away from control and to heal alongside other people, but when you can, it gets to be something really beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like in my journey of learning to like co-regulate, heal in community, I've also had to it's just been an opportunity for me to heal a lot of my perfectionism tendencies, my OCD, my anxiety, my, desire to be in control all the time because that's also like what you realize is control is really an illusion. We only can control so much. And a lot of it, we have to surrender up. It's like, that's the whole thing with like manifestation. You speak out what you want, you feel into the energy of it, and then you have to surrender it out. And I always think about this, like, this is a really weird example, but it was like recently my parents went on a trip and I was sitting there being like really nervous for them to go on this trip. And I was like, why am I feeling this way? And my mom was like, well, this is how I felt when you started to travel and you started to do your own thing and you went to college. And she was like, the greatest gift that you can give to anyone, including yourself, is to let go of that control and let things flow and let them go. Because if you live in control, you live in anxiety and fear all the time. So I was like, oh my God, that is so true. So I practiced like, my parents went off on this trip. I was like, they're going to be fine. They're going to have the time of their lives because if I can release some of this control, some of this fear I have around them doing something different, then I let them truly grow and expand. So that's the same thing we have with ourselves. Like if we're always in control of everything, we're really keeping ourselves in a little bubble, trying to protect ourselves from everything that could possibly create growth. So that's the whole idea. And I know it's really hard. Like it is super hard. We've grown up in a society that is in that really hyper independence, hyper control kind of state. But when you learn to allow yourself to flow in the energy through connecting with communities and connecting with mentors and just letting down your guard a little bit more, you can finally breathe. It's like you've been sipping in air your whole life. The second you're held by a community or a mentor, it's like this deep release, like, oh my God, I can take some of the weight off my shoulders. I am not alone.
I think for anyone listening, like what you can reflect on is what is your current relationship with control and community and being immersed and with relationships and community and support systems that
And
actually
with trust.
and yeah Mhm.
Mhm.
Exactly. Trust in yourself, trust in others as well. Just reflect on what your current relationship is with that and how you can begin to shift that today in this moment. And maybe that is coming inside of our elevation. So what I want you to do is think about your current relationship and what you can start doing to shift that current relationship. What's the relationship with control and trust and leaning on others and having other support and elevating with others? What do you want it to be like? What do you desire it to be like? And what's one thing you can do to start shifting into that relationship with it? And maybe it is, like I said, coming inside of our elevation. The community aspect and piece of this challenge is everything. And it's something we absolutely love. There's women inside of there, people inside of there that have been in every single round and have started to build bonds and relationships with those that come and really just elevate together. So if you want to be a part of this 21-day ritual challenge, we would love to be there. We'll leave the link in the show notes. We begin the 8th of August. We're super excited. The doors do close on the 5th. So make sure that you do get your ticket, you save your spot, you save your space, and allow this to be an opportunity for you to release control and say yes to more high vibrational support and community and expansion with others. But thank you everyone for listening. We love you. Even just being immersed in this conversation today, you've opened yourself up to a high vibrational support, high vibrational collective energy and community. So if you want more of that energy, if you want more intimate energy like what you've experienced today, please come inside of our elevation. We'll leave a link in the show notes, or you can even just send a message to either me, Sophie, Maggie, or Karlie for any further information. You can just even send the word aura. We'll know what you're talking about and we can give you any further information. But thank you everyone for joining and listening, and we will speak to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.